Welcome back. I'm joined by Championship correspondent Pascal Lemaire to preview the Boxing Day clash between Birmingham and Derby County. Pascal, starting the away side, dropped to 5th now.
Yeah, but it was a bad week for them, wasn't it? They started, it was a big game last weekend at lunchtime against Middlesbrough, top of the table clash, and they lost that 2-0, sort of got outplayed there. Then, Chelsea in the Capital One Cup in midweek, that was always going to be a tough game for them. Obviously, Chelsea Premier League leaders, no one really expected them to win that. 3-1 defeat there, but Steve McLaren wouldn't have been too annoyed by that, but he would have really fancied getting back to winning ways against Norwich at home. But yeah, they got a point. It was a 2-2 draw. Obviously, a late equaliser is always gutting to concede that, but I don't think they deserved to win that game. They didn't play their best in that game. The first goal, it was a great finish from Johnny Russell after some nice play from Chris Martin, and then he scored from the penalty spot. But I think, the Norwich manager, Neil Adams, after the game said that, his side definitely deserved to win that game. And I think Steve McLaren, in his heart of hearts, even though he'll be gutted at the way they conceded late on, he'll think, a point was probably about right. Even if that was, they probably should have lost it, to be honest. So, it's now 2 without winning the league and down to 5th in the table. And with teams, like Bournemouth, they're flying, Ipswich, Brentford, in the top 3 now, all of those sort of flying. And Derby, what they don't want to do now is go on a winless run. And because if those teams keep going the way they're going, then Derby might just lose ground a bit. And considering they were sort of table toppers for, a lot of the season, they definitely don't want that to happen. And I think they might fancy themselves here, though.
Moving on to the home side, continue to impress under their new manager.
Yeah, Gary Rowett, he's just done a fantastic job, hasn't he? It's now 4 wins in the last 5 games. And last time out, they went to Huddersfield, who, they hadn't had a lot of wins lately, but their home form have been really good. They hadn't lost in 7 games at the Gower Farm, so to go there and win 1-0, stop them scoring, very impressive. I think after the game, Rowett will think, that probably should have been a draw. Darren Randolph, he made so many saves. One especially from Grant Holt was a fantastic save, and it was whether there'd be bids for him in January because he's been excellent in goal this season. And Rowett said that he really wants to keep him, so that'll be huge. And obviously David Cotterill came up with the goal. It was a fabulous free kick from him. I think maybe the Huddersfield keeper should have done a little better. It was straight at him, but it was a fabulous strike, swerving all over the place. And he's been a key player for them this season. And Rowett is just getting the best out of his players. And the change that he's had since he come in has been so noticeable because he hasn't been able to sign many new players. He dipped into the loan market a couple of times, but the way he's making players like Cotterill, Andrew Shinney, the defence as well, he's making everyone play better, and they're almost as close to the playoffs now as the relegation zone. So he's just done a really, really good job.
So in good run of form, can you see him continue that against Derby? Or
I think Derby on the whole, they do have more quality, and I think Steve McLaren, he'll want to get back to winning ways as soon as possible because of the way that the sides above them are doing. So I think Derby's quality might just tell him this one and back them to win 2-1.
Sports, I'm going for a 2-1 win to Derby County.